Welcome to BaseballGuys.com. I'm your host and Around the Horn, Ray Flowers. Let's get right into it. The Padres and the Giants had a waiver wire situation where Heath Bell was claimed by the Giants. My belief all along was that Bell would not end up with the Giants. I wrote about it in waiver wire claims that you can find at BaseballGuys.com, and that's what happened. He didn't move. Bell is still a member of the Padres. He'll remain a member of the Padres. He has stated repeatedly he would like to remain a member of the Padres long term. Now his contract does end at the end of the season. They'll have a chance to re-sign Bell. If not, the team will probably get Type A free agency out of Bell and get a couple of draft picks. So they can go either way with that situation. But the bottom line is that Bell will remain with the Padres for the duration of the 2011 season. Now as far as the Giants go, Sergio Romo will throw today in the minor leagues on Friday. If that goes well, it doesn't have any setbacks, he should be activated on Sunday. Very good news there. He's been arguably the best right-handed setup man in all of the National League this year. Now, the news isn't as good with Brian Wilson, who's also out with an elbow issue. He threw for 7 minutes yesterday. Not 6, not 8, but 7 minutes yesterday. He's progressing, but at this point, the team does not believe that he's going to be able to be activated from the disabled list the first day he's eligible of August 31st. Still in a holding pattern there. I would assume that Romo, if healthy, would probably be the main arm the Giants would lean on in the ninth inning. Though Javier Lopez, Jeremy Apple, these guys are still going to be involved. It'll probably still be a committee type approach until Wilson gets back. Giants really need him back, and they need him performing at peak level and not the struggling pitcher we've seen of late. The Mets have some bad news on the hill as well. Johan Santana has had a shoulder issue that he's been dealing with. That nose issue has been bugging me for the last minute. Santana has a bad shoulder, and the situation is such that there's just not enough time left, only a month left in the season. The Mets don't want to push him, so it's highly doubtful at this point that we'll even see Johan Santana on a big league field in 2011. Now he'll go spend some time in the minors, try to work his way up, get some work on the hill in game action, but again, probably not going to have enough time to ramp things up to appear with the Mets this season. Looking forward, he's a question mark. Wasn't very good his last season in the big leagues last year. Obviously missed all of this year if this report is accurate. He's someone you take late, but don't expect that Johan Santana of old. He's just not the pitcher he once was when he was the most dominating left-hander in baseball. Now the Mets are also out without Jonathan Niese. His side issue is one that may also preclude him from pitching for the rest of the season. Miguel Batista has been called up. Looks like Batista's going to be given a shot to fill that open spot in the rotation. One other bit of news on the Mets: Jose Reyes is progressing, continue to look good. His wheels reportedly are faring very well with his rehab work. Everything goes according to plan. He should be back on the field on Monday for the Mets. Indians, they got all kinds of issues with health as well. Michael Brantley has been in and out of the lineup with the wrist issue. Well, the Indians have decided they can't wait any longer for that situation, so Brantley has been put on the disabled list. Shin Soo-Choo has got an issue with his side. He is not in the lineup on Friday. The team does not anticipate this becoming a DL-type issue, but just another injury that Choo is going to have to fight through. Josh Tomlin has got a 1.08 whip this year, and he's been a great story. 37 starts to begin his career of at least 5 innings. But he's really hit some tough times of late. His ERA is well over 5 in the second half of the season. He has also been placed on the disabled list. It could be a phantom injury. Now, we're not quite certain of anything. We haven't heard a report that it's his shoulder, his elbow, his hamstring, anything like that. So chances are this is kind of one of those fudge situations where the team looks at him, sees a young guy that's struggling, and just needs to get him out and get him some rest. Up in the air at this point what he's got left the rest of the season to offer for the Indians. And finally, the Jim Thome waiver wire situation with the Twins and the Indians was resolved. Thome has been dealt to the Indians. He'll go right into that DH spot, hit and clean up in the order for the Indians, who are without Travis Hafner. About the only bit of good news right now with the Indians. They got some injuries that they're dealing with. The Yankees, Curtis Granderson. He's had a phenomenal season, better than I thought he would. Better than most people thought he would. Even those people that were high on him couldn't have predicted the heights he's climbed to. He's already got a career best right now in home runs. Got a career best in RBIs. He's just 3 runs off his career best in the run scored column, only 2 off his career best in the steals column. What does that all mean? Well, it obviously means he's up for the American League MVP award this season, and also has a couple of other interesting facts. He scored 119 runs in 126 games, which is a phenomenal rate. His 370-ish on-base percentage is a good number, but it's not a great number, so he's done an excellent job scoring. Actually, his teammates have done an excellent job knocking him in. But more impressively, he's on pace right now for a season of 40 home runs, 120 RBIs, 130 runs scored, and 25 steals. You know how many guys have done that since the calendar flipped to the 21st century? 0. You know how many guys have done that going back to 1993? Ellis Burks, Jeff Bagwell, and Larry Walker. Again, a 40, 120, 130, 25 pace for Curtis Granderson. He has been absolutely dynamic this season. Phenomenal. And then finally, the case of Travis Snider. Let's close it off with another injury since we've talked about so many injuries today. He has a wrist issue. It's pretty much just tendonitis, but they have recommended shutting him down for 4 to 6 weeks to let that issue heal. Clearly, that precludes him from returning in 2011 to the Blue Jays lineup. Really bad way to end the season. I mean, he really struggled in the big leagues. He had a great couple of week run with the Blue Jays, but overall had only 225. His OPS was barely over 615 with the Blue Jays. Totally opposed to the numbers that he posted in the minors, where he was hitting in the 320s with an OPS of 873. Next year is probably a make or break season for Snider, and in fact, he might even get the chance to play with the Blue Jays. I wouldn't be shocked if they tried to deal him. Guy's got a lot of talent, and he's still young, but he just hasn't been able to break through with the club in Toronto. I'm Ray Flowers, BaseballGuys.com. Enjoy your weekend, and I'll talk to y'all again soon.